In this lesson, we'll cover modifying our graphic column schedule. So currently we're looking at a graphic column schedule table. Let's say we want to control the length of the actual schedule table. In other words, how many of these columns do we actually see within the schedule? Well, you can control that by the column location spacing. Within the properties on the left, if I slide over the detail a little bit, I'll see column location per segment. In this case, right now, it's set to 50. Change that to 25, and you can see this will actually resize the column schedule table, showing me only 25 columns within a row. You could change that to another element if you want. Now, another thing to do to save space is to group similar columns. So right below that is a checkbox for grouping similar locations or similar columns. If you check mark that, it will actually group columns that are alike. So if I group them and zoom in, I can actually see these columns are stacked, and then it'll tell me what grids these columns are stacked upon and then at what level. To show more detail for this column, I could change my detail to fine, and I could also change the actual graphic display to maybe shading to show more detail or contrast. And lastly, if you want to tag your columns within the actual schedule themselves, go to the Annotate tab. On the Annotate tab, you can tag by category, where here I could set the tag placement on the option bar, such as vertical. I'm using a tag with a leader, attaching it to an end, and I get an offset for the leader of 5 millimeters. So as I mouse over my column, I'll see the tag with the leader applied, and I can click to actually place these. Or if you want to tag all of these at once, click Modify in the upper left, go back to the Annotate tab, and then click Tag All. When you click Tag All, select Structural Column Tags, then click OK. You can also set with a leader length, and how do you want the actual tag oriented, such as vertical. Then click OK. This will tag all of the other elements within the actual view that aren't tagged. So again, tag all, structural column tags, all objects in current view, leader, vertical, OK. And this creates all of the structural tags for those columns. So as a review, in this lesson, we covered modifying the graphical column schedules. We looked at controlling the actual length of a schedule by only allowing a certain number of columns within the schedule. We also looked at grouping like elements together for a more condensed column schedule table. From there, we looked at changing the graphic display of the column by showing more detail and changing the shading. And lastly, we looked at tagging the columns, tagging individually or tagging all the columns within the schedule table.